Welcome to Talk Dirt to Me, where two farmers shatter myths and take on the top issues facing America's farmers. Here's your hosts, Logan and Bobby Lee.
What's up, everybody?
Good evening, good evening.
Yep, two in 1 week.
Yeah, we're recording ahead of time to accommodate my travel schedule.
Yep. Bobby Lee's got the, what do they call those? The adult sex rewards that they always do. You know, the big like porn star awards, and that's what y'all were going to, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, the we're going to Vegas.
Adult, I don't know what they call it. The
adult, film show awards ceremony. Yeah.
Aren't you're announcing one of the awards?
Yeah, I mean, as a veteran in that industry, they thought I would be a good person to kind of help. Yeah, I'm presenting an award. Yeah, for I don't know.
Do you remember what the category is?
There's nothing gay.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, that's all that matters. Yeah.
Unless it's two chicks, that's okay.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So it might be the best scissoring award. Yeah, you never know.
I think that's what it was. No. It's next week, which by the time you're hearing this, it'll be
deeply into next week.
Yeah, spring break will be ending for my kids, but now where I'm finally, I think I mentioned that on our New Year's show where I was like resolutions or like my goals for this year, just going and doing more. And so finally, even though spring break is right in the middle of calving season, we're taking a little family trip for spring break.
Hey man, you need to do it. That's what, it's funny. You talk about the calving season and it's kind of the same way I look at like with row cropping and anything, the schedule of things is always really tricky and people are like, oh, we can't do that there.
Yeah. You need to go to the lake more this year.
I really do. I do need to do it because it's kind of like, man, at the end of the day, you can get your kids toys, you can do this and that, but like the memories is what they're going to remember.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's going to be what they're going to think about.
And that's kind of what was tugging at me pretty hard. And so, I listened to the show, my buddy PJ. Actually, I think when I first got hooked up with him was because he had.
Oh yeah, he's been helping you out a while.
Oh yeah, he is my go-to guy when I'm out of town to watch over the cows for me. So he actually came by this afternoon and we checked on all the cows. Everybody was like, man, yeah, kind of laid out what I needed him to do for me while we're gone.
There you go.
We're going.
Well, I'm gonna lay out what I need you guys to do. And we need y'all to hit that like button, hit subscribe, comment below if you're watching this on YouTube, or comment on Spotify if you're watching it on there. Our videos seem to really be knocking it out of the park on Spotify. So we appreciate all the love and the comments. Do ask that you leave us 5-star ratings on Spotify and on Apple. That helps out a lot. And be sure and hit the follow button on any of those platforms. That also helps us out. And
y'all go to agzaga.com. Y'all know the discount code because y'all listen, religiously, and you've heard me say it before, but it's Talk Dirt 20. That's $20 off a $50 minimum order. Check out all the good deals. They've already got great pricing on everything. Then you get an extra $20 off. Agzaga.com. They are your online ag retailer.
There you go. So we got some questions and stuff we're going to get to. I got one here on Instagram, or actually on Spotify. I mean, I urge y'all to message us your questions on talkdirtpodcast.com on the contact page. It's so much easier to keep up with. This dude had wrote a thing on Spotify 20 days ago.
Well, and I would assume, I don't know, but obviously,
or actually longer than that.
When you give us a rating, when you give us a review, that helps the algorithms, however that whole process works. I would assume, because I know on YouTube, like the more likes you get, which, hey, we're on YouTube. Give us the thumbs up there, subscribe. But the more comments you get under a video helps kind of pump it up as well.
I would think it
so
would.
I would assume on Spotify it does as well. So yeah, y'all throw out a comment on Spotify too.
Yeah. Well, I got one of the questions comes off of there. But before we get into the questions, I do have some interesting, it was kind of a funny conversation I had. So today, man, I've seen some of our friends, they've met with their lenders and they've secured financing going into this year. And I've still got one dreaded meeting before I'm rocking and rolling into this year. And I'm honestly it is what it is at this point, because I'm already like in motion for this year. And so me and Marcy were out here. We got out here and we're working. And man, I had bought some fruit trees, and I bought some mulch, and I mulched all around my fruit trees today. And then I planted 10 more. I planted actually 5 more prune trees and 5 more apricots. And then I got 5 more apples to plant tomorrow at some point. But we were out here. Dude, I got a couple of things. First, man, I tell you what, row cropping, it's a job. You know, you put some hours in, but it don't hold a damn candle to the shit that we do at the farm store. Like I used a power head I got a 12-inch auger, and I use it to like dig the pilot hole. And then I have to take a post hole digger, and, you know, you got to make it a hole a lot wider for a fruit tree. And even on 10 of those, after I had put mulch around like 50 trees, dude, you're beat. And
yeah, 12-inch auger is pretty big for just one of those handhelds.
It is.
Like that's, yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Beat the hell out of you.
It is, man. You're like, you're hanging, y'all. You got like a pump after you get done doing it.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'd hit a couple of spots where the ground would be hard. And so you're like, you know, you got to push down on that son of a gun. And so, yeah, I got an arm and shoulder workout today off of that. But, man, that's what I told Marcy, because she actually weeded. We got 150 blueberry plants that are out there, and they're really young. And so she literally had to pull the grass and weed around all of those today. And both of us were like, you know, like hunched over by the time we got done today. And I told her, I said, you know, this stuff, it's hard damn work. Like, It's a hell of a lot harder work than row cropping. I'm a row crop guy, so I can say that. Some row croppers are like, that son of a bitch. But I'm just telling you, from a physical standpoint, this shit's way harder.
And you need some illegal labor.
I do. I need some Mexicanos out there that I can be like, hey, man.
Yeah, back in the old days before I used to go on to Home Depot.
Yeah, out there, what was it, Jackson Avenue?
I think it seems like it was almost all the Home Depots you could roll up to early in the morning, and they're all out there waiting for a job.
Yep. Yeah, man.
A buddy of ours used to do that. They were like hauling straw. He's like, it was hilarious. You pull up, and like, of course, they don't really speak good English. You like, you know, just holding up fingers how many guys you needed. And they would tell me, it's like, we're hauling wheat straw. And they would all like get back out.
Yeah, they didn't want no part of that.
Like, we'll go lay some bricks.
Yeah.
You know, whatever other manual labor you need, but we're not interested in tossing straw and stacking and whatnot.
Well, I mean, man, it's just, but it's also, I actually think that it's also more rewarding, because like an orchard, Marcy and I both are like orchard, and they're tricky. Getting it really started, getting it off the ground is the tricky part, because one, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm having to learn along on the process. And like, I'm going to give a little bit of crap. I won't mention the name because I don't want to throw like shade at them. But there's an agency that's supposed to like, that's kind of there for farmers, and you can get information from them. I called them last year, or maybe the year before, when we put in the orchard. We planted like 42 peach trees, and then we planted some plums, and I've got like 25 apple trees over here. But when we put it in, I called this agency and was like, hey, because my dad said that years ago they actually had a guy they could send out that was his specialty was fruit trees. He would tell you like, all right, you need to do this. Here's what you need to do. So I called him and I was like, hey, I need, I was going to see if you had somebody that come out. I want someone to physically come out to the farm and look at my trees and be like, okay, you know, change this, do this, spray that. And they said, well, we don't have people that do that anymore, but we've got a website we'll send you the link to. And so they literally just sent me the link to like fruit trees. And I'm like, hell, I can Google the shit. I want someone physically to come out and be like, then look at them and tell me what to do. Like, I don't want to read a damn article. Shit, I text pictures of my fruit trees to my Terminator, and I'm like, what does this thing need? And actually, it's hell, they've survived. My peach trees have survived 2 years now. So the Terminator hadn't led me wrong, I guess. But on the second part, I got funny. I kind of got tickled. I was just telling Marcia, in preparing for this meeting with my lender, Bobby Lee's well aware of how like insane my brain is sometimes. And I wrote a reference on my hand, Scarface, so I would remember this to tell this story on here. I was telling Marcia, I was like, wonder what this guy would do. Have you seen Scarface?
I don't think I've ever sat down and watched it. Like I've seen, like it's enough of like kind of it's Scarface.
Yeah.
So I've seen the various scenes, just on whether it's social media clips or whatever, and all the pop culture references and whatnot to it. But no, I don't know. It's one of those that, if I'm laid up in bed with the flu or COVID one day, that's probably one I ought to put on the watch list.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's not like the greatest film ever made. It gets some people, I would say, overhype it, but it's not a bad movie. It's still a pretty cool film. But there's this scene when he meets with, if I remember right, this is kind of when Tony Montana, that's Scarface, he's meeting with this dude that essentially becomes like his, I guess, Colombian producer. Like this is the dude that's supplying him with the cocaine. And they become essentially business partners. And when he first meets him, they're sitting there, and this guy has a famous quote in the film that he says to Tony when Tony agrees to the deal. And this is the quote I said I was going to use with my lender. And I told Marcia, I was like, I wonder what he would do if I showed up. And I'm like, here's my financials. And then I go, and I'm sorry, y'all know, I'm not going to apologize. Y'all know how the language is on this show. And I slid the papers and I go, don't you fuck me. Don't you ever try to fuck me.
I see, and I've seen enough references to the movie. I knew that was the line before you delivered it. Yeah,
he goes, don't you fuck me, Tony. Don't you ever try to fuck me. And and then Tony does. He ends up like cheating the guy out, and I think he kills him and takes over the whole thing. But sorry, this spoiler alert. The film's been out for like 50 years, so you've had a long time to watch it. But yeah, and I even said, I was like, and say I slid like a pistol on the table and said that quote. And she knows my lender too. And she was like, well, what would he say? I said, I have truly no idea what he would say.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say may not be the best strategy.
It could have some legal ramifications.
Yeah.
I feel like,
especially if you like use
brandished a weapon.
The weapon, because then it's perceived as a.
Are you threatening
it's
me?
Perceived as a threat, like
it is a threat.
Yeah.
Well, I was just setting it there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just placing my firearm on the table.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have you ever used that line like when y'all have like a person coming trying to sell you some stuff at the clinic?
I never have. Yeah, I can honestly say I've never.
You should try it.
I've never quoted Scarface.
Yeah,
when closing a big deal or anything.
You've never quoted like any of it, like maybe even to your wife, like when you were getting ready to, like on your honeymoon or something.
Well, I don't know. I need to see the movie. I may have quoted it, and I didn't realize I did.
He holds his like machine gun, and he says, "Say hello to my little friend." Like,
and again, I've seen it so iconic. Like I've seen that and heard that phrase a million times. But
yeah, it's worth seeing. I mean, they chop a dude up with a chainsaw in a bathtub at one point too. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
The horse's head in the bed.
That's The Godfather.
That's The Godfather. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's another good one.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I think I'm kind of the same way. Like I've seen bits and pieces, like all the.
Some people would be like mortified that you hadn't seen The Godfather, especially. But I like them. They're good movies. But I've always been kind of into the mafia thing. But but like they're good movies. But I'm not going to tell somebody because they're also insanely long. Like they're very long movies. But yeah, no, I don't know. That meeting will be coming up. I have seen some people getting approved, and honestly, I'm just kind of like, one way or another, I'm gonna get approved. So here's a question that we had. This has been a while back. It's actually not a question; it's kind of a topic. So this was a comment on Spotify, Comes in from Dylan. Dylan, I apologize. I actually told him we would get to this on the next episode, and then I couldn't remember. So it's been like 3 or 4 episodes ago now. He said, being honest, I think why the sale price of crops is so low is because farmers are not doing a multi-rotation crop cycle like back in the days. Like, I believe if corn and soybean farmers would start doing oats, barley, alfalfa, sorghum, and maybe sometimes put it into grass, it would greatly cut the problem of overproduction, in my opinion. Because, like, we have a 5,000 acre farm that we do corn and beans. We have thought of putting in oats. Maybe it would help with our cattle too for bales to cut buying it. I told him, I said, I've got a lot of thoughts on this, and so I would share them in the next episode. So, and I understand what he's saying.
Right. And of course, my immediate, obvious question is, okay, well, is there a market?
And that's exactly
for crops.
Exactly my response.
And yeah, and like he kind of mentioned there, maybe you're growing, instead of growing a commodity that you're just going to immediately sell, maybe you grow something that, like oats that you're then going to feed to livestock, which you can do that with corn.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could do it to an extent with soybeans too. And I think definitely if we could divert some acres away from those two crops, I mean, obviously that lessens the supply. Should, put pressure on the price to go up. If across the country, we could, maybe diversify more, but you got to have markets for those. And obviously, you look at it and we don't have a total free market system. We have government manipulation all the time and whatnot. But, in a true free market, the market's going to demand what we grow. If all of a sudden there was a huge market for oats or alfalfa, like there was an incredible demand for it,
you'd see it.
You'd see a big shift, and then we'd probably overproduce. Like we say, the cure for high prices is high prices. If the price of oats went through the roof, we'd all of a sudden plant 90 million acres of oats, and the price would bottom out. If we just had more markets for commodities that can easily be grown in relatively the same manner with the same equipment.
Yeah.
That a lot of our, traditional corn and soybean farmers, you can throw cotton, wheat, whatever in there with it, and they could immediately kind of shift to that, which I guess you've seen a little with like canola.
Yeah.
And some other kind of specialty crops. But it's all about having like, I can grow this. Well, like milo, for instance, y'all can grow that. You have grown that.
Yeah.
But it's all dependent on it. Is there a market for it this year?
Yeah. And see, so that was going to be my whole response to him. It's like, I totally agree. Like, we need more diversification in the crops that we grow, but you got to have a place to sell them. And we're seeing, like you mentioned, canola. You drive around. I actually drove around and saw some canola the other night. And I'm like, farmers are willing to grow different things. And like I said, milo, we've grown milo before. And we actually milo I really like, because milo will do good anywhere. Like, you can put it on some really crappy ground. It'll do really good. And actually our producer over here, he probably don't even remember, but Milo tore his little butt up, itched him to death. I remember, Banks, you probably don't remember this, but
he was a little tight.
Yeah, man, I don't remember, probably 4. Maybe
the last time we grew it.
It was the last time. It was the last time we had a market for it. And I'll just never forget, man, that stuff would make you itch so bad. And Banks was actually down there like playing in some of it after we had harvested. Do you remember this, Banks?
No, I don't.
No. So I didn't figure he would. But he was playing in it. And I said, Banks, that stuff's going to tear you up, make you itch. No, it won't. And I said, all right. And man, Dad, I asked him, because Banks rode on the combine with him afterwards. And I asked Dad later, I said, was Banks itching? He said, oh, yeah, I had to wet paper towels. He was stacking them in between his arm, like in his bends of his arms and around his neck. Like it was itching him so bad. So Milo it's like fiberglass, like it feels like, but it'll itch the shit out of you. But it is a super versatile crop. It puts a ton of organic matter back into the ground. Like, it is a great crop. But there's not only, like, some people might be like, well, you could still rotate it even if the price is low. there is no market like at all. Like there's not even a granary taking
none
it.
of our elevators around here will even take it. On just a typical year.
We got corn, soybeans, and wheat. And that's the dominant thing. And then we do have some cotton, but cotton is like unbelievably terrible right now. But there is apparently white corn is starting to come around.
Okay. For like tortillas and
I think so.
Like to go directly into because the corn we grow, I kind of get a kick out of that with, the whole like glyphosate, non-GMO, like the corn and soybeans we grow in some form or fashion end up eventually in the food chain some way or another, but like we don't eat that corn.
Yeah.
Like when you go to the store and buy a cornmeal, it's not from corn that we grew. That corn is mostly going to ethanol production, which then you got the byproduct of distillers grains that goes to animal feed, or it's going to animal feed.
Yeah.
I went and got some more corn from your dad today that is literally going through my steers, and that's why the whole glyphosate thing kind of cracks me up. Because I'm sure there's some of the people out there like, well, because that corn was on ground that had been sprayed with glyphosate, then it was fed to an animal. Like if I eat that beef, like
it's contaminated.
The negative effects of the glyphosate, and you can't prove that it doesn't, but yeah, it's a pretty big stretch.
It is.
When it comes to that, but actually talking about that would be a product that would be.
Yeah, the white corn is
well consumed.
From my understanding, it's mostly sent to Mexico. It's going to go, like say, for the chips, tortillas, and those things. And it is just now kind of starting to come around. And see, and here's another aspect to it. It's just now kind of coming into our area, so we don't know what varieties work here. And so, because that's the thing, when a new thing moves in here, it takes a minute for us to figure out, all right, this variety of bean or this variety of corn, like this is what works in our climate. Because oftentimes seed is kind of germinated and grown up in like the I-states and, the Indiana, Iowa, all those they tend to do where a lot of the genetics happen. And so then they come down here and they got to try them out to find out what works for the South.
That little bit of difference in geography won't make a total crop failure.
Yep. And so I agree. The diversification is great. We talk about the thing, but at the end of the day, I was talking to a buddy of ours and he's a farmer and we were just talking about how bad things are. And he was like, everybody keeps talking about diversifying, and they had a cotton picker. And he said, yeah, I think diversification is great. He said, but Logan, I got a cotton picker out there and it ain't going to pick tomatoes.
Yeah.
He said, so he was like, at the end of the day, I got a cotton picker. And he was like, I can't even get rid of the cotton picker.
Right. And that's one of the, specifically talking about cotton, that's one of the problems is, you have an incredible investment in machinery
that does one
only
thing.
Good for one crop.
Yep.
But you've seen on a very small scale, relatively speaking, some peanuts and some rice, even in our general area. Of course, a lot of rice when you cross the river and get into Arkansas.
Yeah.
But even some here in West Tennessee now.
Guys are open. That's the thing. Like I think people think that a lot of farmers they just grow that shit because they're hard-headed. And there's some guys, but most guys, if there's a market, they'll grow it.
Yeah.
And now you're not going to, I think some people think too, like they'd say canola. Canola's got a market now. They'd be like, well, these farmers need to just go all canola. Well, we're also growing a crop we've never grown before. So it's like, again, do I want to gamble? Like, all right, we've had bad years back to back. I'm going to try out this new crop. Am I going to go all in on this new crop that I really don't even know how to grow that great yet? And it's like you're insanely exposing yourself. So, the big takeaway here, I'm not trying to sound like I'm bashing this guy's idea. I agree. I'm just saying there's a lot of caveats to that idea as well.
Well, one of the things I remember with Milo, and I wasn't growing it, just being an outsider kind of looking in, I know when it was kind of a big thing around here, it's kind of a third, fourth, fifth, option. There was an issue with if you got into any real damage, you couldn't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you've got corn or soybeans that got some damage, yeah, they're going to dock you pretty heavily, but you can still sell it and get some of your money back. But I know one of the grain marketing guys, and I was like, man, if that's one thing about Milo, like if there's any sort of significant damage, like they wouldn't take it. And you might just end up having to just dump it somewhere, use it to bait a dove field or something.
Yeah. I was going to say, you're going to have to, at that point, you're hoping you get good insurance.
Right, yeah. And then I imagine that'd be one of those things where it'd probably be hard to get insured for that if there was.
You got to have 2 failed delivery attempts from elevators. You got to take it to 2 different elevators. From my understanding, you can actually fail a crop that's been harvested, but you have to be rejected by 2 elevators per letter. They have to essentially write you a letter saying they will not take the grain. And if you get that, from my understanding, you can then claim as a loss, a total loss.
Which is maybe getting a little off in the weeds, but then what do you have to like prove that you just like destroyed it?
I don't know.
Because then like my wheels are turning like.
Saying you still get something for it?
Yeah, and obviously that'd be like insurance fraud or whatever. But, seems like we got into that one of the tobacco stories we talked about.
Well, we're already dishonest.
Oh, because we had hinted about
not paying to the checkoff, apparently John. And I saw he wrote back today. Did you see his comment today?
I didn't. So we had talked about the checkoff and how the checkoff somehow, even if you sell private treaty, at least in my experience, they somehow, maybe it's just coincidence, but they would send you an email, be like, be sure to pay your checkoff or fees or dollars for those animals that you might have sold, even if it was private treaty. And what he commented is like, so you're admitting to being dishonest or something? To that
It was on our Spotify comments. For those of you that are interested in reading.
We do appreciate John commenting, appreciate you listening and commenting.
Yeah. It's on episode 227, so our last one. And he wrote on there, I guess.
It'll be 2 ago by the time.
That's right. Yeah. He said, I guess the hosts are hinting that they are liars and dishonest, which actually today I was thinking, I was like, well, actually, that's the same thing. If you're a liar, you're already dishonest. Yeah. So you don't have to say it twice.
He was a little bit redundant there.
Yeah. He said, you are legally required to send your check off. And so I'll be honest, I just did the laughing reaction to it. And then Bobby Lee said, glad to have our NCBA folks listening in. If resisting extortion from industry groups working against the cattlemen is wrong, then I don't want to be right. And then we had a listener write in. Did you see a listener responded to him?
No, I need to check those comments.
We had a listener write in under there and said they never explicitly said they haven't sent in checkoff dollars. But if it makes you feel better, John, you could always send in an extra donation to the checkoff program just in case.
Yeah.
And I said, so then I wrote back and said, that's a great idea, Jack. Be a good Samaritan, John. And then John wrote back today, I don't sell privately.
Well, that wasn't Jack's point, is that if you think people that are selling,
then you need to make up
and aren't paying in, and you could throw a dollar.
I was gonna say, even if he sells at a sale barn, can he still write?
Which we don't have time to talk about everything that's wrong with the checkoff, but it's been clearly pointed out by many others, and it's pretty obvious that those funds get misused incredibly. And so I'll leave it at that, so that we don't spend this whole episode talking about all the problems with the beef checkoff.
But it was just funny. I got tickled. I don't know, man. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, no shit. Like, John, honestly, we really do appreciate you commenting.
Yeah, it helps. It honestly does.
We're not asking everybody to agree with us. I say it all the time. If you agree with everything somebody says or does, then you're just a sheep. You're not. Yep. You're not. Thinking for yourself.
That's right. So Riley writes in, love the podcast. Keep up the good work. Have a question. What is the basis referring to prices at a grain elevator or an ethanol plant? So the basis, now, man, you can really, you can really go deep on marketing. And I am not the guy to go really deep on marketing. I generally do. I have done some basis only contracts. I have done some hedge to arrives, but I generally stick to what I'm pretty well know. And that's typically a good old fashioned boring cash price at later dates. These are contracts. I'm forward marketing my grain.
So like beans, you could get cash price $10, but then you can have a positive or a negative basis.
Yes.
You can have a cash price is $10, and then you tell me if I'm wrong, but because we're right here on the Mississippi River, it's very convenient for the elevators where we deliver to, because they don't have to truck it or rail it. I guess inland facilities, I guess maybe they rail it to a port or whatever. And so a lot of times we'll have a little bit of a positive basis, right?
Ours is better than like the Midwest and all those guys. You know, we get stronger prices because it's the further you get away from the river, typically the worse.
Yeah, we're not that far from the Gulf. It doesn't cost them that much to get it for what's going for export.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I would think that in some of the places like, Iowa, Nebraska, where there's a lot of that is consumed domestically by,
feed.
Going directly to feed an animal right there, just a few miles down the road. I would think that they would maybe have a positive basis.
I think they have pretty shitty basis.
Okay. But basically, it's just like a positive or a negative from that cash price.
The elevator establishes it.
Yes, it's kind of how bad do they really want it?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
That's the way I've kind of looked at it.
I'll tell you right now. And if somebody
may be completely wrong, but that's kind of the way I look at it.
Well, it is, because like one of the granaries around here that probably gets the least amount of business has had the strongest prices because they're trying to increase their business. And it's worked because I have actually booked some grain with them. I'm not driving my semi there, but I got a guy that is good at driving a semi, and he will, because I'm not getting on the interstate. In a
President's Island.
Yeah. And they've been begging for business, and I like all the people there. That's the thing.
Well, that's great. I mean, that's what you do.
Yeah. And so like
competition is a good thing.
So like what we get, they've got cash price established. Like most farmers, they will just most farmers book a cash price. Like that's the simple thing. Now I've used a lot of systems, like Cargill has like some systems, that they book a little bit every day. And actually I came out pretty good last year on some of my prices, but, on that one program I used, I think it was called the Pacer program. But, man, most guys, like I said, book a cash. Like I get a text message. I get text messages every day. I get one or several from ADM, CGB, and Cargill. I get them every weekday except Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to get one in the morning from ADM. It's going to have beans, corn. There's not even a wheat on there right now. But, and then I get one later in the day. I get usually what the market opens at and what the market closes at. Our markets are it's stock markets. It's commodity trading. Unfortunately, one of the things that does chap a lot of farmers' ass is you do often have guys that are like in New York that are buying and selling, and they affect our commodity price as well, and they never grow a grain.
It's some way in cattle.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's what these guys do.
Just speculators. Yeah.
Yep. They will never grow a grain. But like the simplest way, let's say on the board, the Chicago Board of Trade is going to have a corn price. And let's say right now that Chicago Trade has it. All right, I'm looking at the basis so I can give you kind of a realistic thing here. Today's price on the board is $4.50. And then the elevator, they'll take $4.50 because that's the price that's on the board. And they say, how bad do we want it? Where are we at from the river? Cost this, cost that. And they say, right now, there is a minus 2 cent basis on corn. So your cash price would be $4.48 a bushel because it's $4.50 on the board with a negative 2 basis. So that's a negative 2 cent basis.
Yeah. So
did I explain that well?
Yeah, I think so. And that's not much basis one way or the other.
No, I mean,
relatively speaking. But basically what they're saying is like, if you want to haul us some corn today, that's fine. But we're not just jumping up and down needing a bunch of truckloads of corn.
In harvest, I've seen it negative 40 cents
Yeah, because they're just so slammed.
Yeah, they're like, God, we don't want any more.
And there's a glut of product coming in. Right.
There's there has been, Milo, we actually booked a basis only contract. I remember when we did Milo, we did a plus 80.
I remember that.
Yep. It was an 80 cent over the board, which was that was a damn home run.
Because I don't even know what was the cash price.
Dude, I don't even remember.
I mean, because the heck, that basis might have been, what was it, $7, $8 for a bushel? I don't even know what Milo was.
I don't remember, to be honest with you. I don't remember at all.
That's another 10%.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it literally, and like I said, at harvest, you generally have a negative basis, or it's either a zero basis is considered pretty good. Like there's guys right now, they're like, man, if you can get a zero basis, you need to lock it in, and you can lock the basis in for like a time frame as well. And so there's guys that'll book basis contracts and cash contracts. I typically will do a cash because it's simpler. And, the thing about a basis contract, let's say you book a really good basis contract. All right. Let's say it's 20 over or 10 over. When I say, I mean 10 cents over. All right. If we get to harvest and corn is on the board at 470, that's pretty good. You're going to get 480 with a 10 cents over. But if the markets collapse and corn goes down to 340, you're only going to get 350. So that's where I like a cash, because it's like, at least I know the amount of money that I'm going to get, because cash is locking in hard dollars. You're locking in at the basis right now, and you're getting a guaranteed cash. So if I look right here,
which, of course, flip side of that is it could go to $5.
Yep.
And in which case you'd be happy that, okay, well, I only book basis. So I'm getting 5.10.
Well, and Bobby Lee and I have said this before.
And again, we're not experts on this field. There's a million ways you can do this.
There is a million ways you can do it. There's, like I said, there's pacer programs, hedge to arrives. It is as intricate as you want to get. I will tell you one thing. I've tried a lot of different programs. Most of the time, they all about average out. Yeah. I've never had one that was just like, holy shit, just hit a home run.
Well, and like you may have a one-off, I would think, where just like in 1 year, like you happen to just get really lucky. But I mean, it's like trying to beat the casino.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to consistently do that. Like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Not they're trying to cheat you out of anything. And not the casino is either. You go in there knowing that the odds are not in your favor.
The casino's in business to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the commodity park, granaries are in business to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no different. Now, a diligent marketer, and Bobby Lee and I have talked about this before. We may have even talked about this when we had our buddy Lee on. A disciplined marketer is the guy, just like, I don't remember what we talked about, how we got to talking about this in the last episode. It was on yields, I think is what we were saying. You don't need to always try to hit a home run. Sometimes you just need some,
hit singles and doubles.
Hit some singles and doubles. And that's what, man, I never will forget this. This was probably 6 or 7 years ago. There was a chick, she worked for ADM. I think it was either ADM or Cargill. And I really liked her because she would explain the marketing stuff really well. She would actually come out to the birdhouse and sit down with me and Dad, and she would go over it. Because, man, especially 6 or 7 years ago, I was like 4 years into starting my own operation, 5 years or whatever. And so I'm really green. And she's explaining all these different things. And I'll never forget, she gave a shout out to a local guy around here. He has actually since passed away. But she said, he is the most disciplined marketer. She said he knows exactly what his costs are, and he knows projected yields, and he has a price that he has to book at. And he books until he meets. He will book. Now their ground, they got some really good ground. But she was like, he knows the exact amount of money that he's got to get, and he books to reach that level. And she goes, some years, if the markets go crazy, all right, there's money on the table that he's going to miss out on because he's booked up pretty heavily. He doesn't book 100%. I would never encourage you to do that. But, he's not going to be able to, reap near out of that what some guys are. But the fact of the matter is, 9 out of 10 years, he's making a profit. And you always will have those guys that are like terrible at marketing, and they just happen to they don't market anything. And then the year the market spikes, that's the year they'll talk about for the rest of their life.
Right. Yeah. They hit a home run. They go 1 for 10 with a home run, and they think they need to be in the Hall of Fame.
And they will talk shit about the guy that's made a profit 9 out of 10 years.
Yeah, the guy that's batting like 400, but he doesn't hit the ball out of the park very often. He's going to just get base hit after base hit. Yeah.
Yes.
Use a baseball analogy, but and it's to not book anything. It's high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
And where the playing the long game, and I think I know the farmer you're talking about. Like they were absolutely playing the long game, as most people should. They weren't trying to get just filthy rich one year. They wanted to be, making money year after year. Here to do it again next year and next generation and the generation after.
And they're here to stay.
Yeah,
they're here to stay. Like they're very much even right now. And this is the generation that's farming that now. Are even right now when a lot of operations are really sucking hind tit, I would venture to say they're not in that bad a shape because they're in a much stronger position than most guys are because of decisions made like that. And so that's the thing, man. And all that goes hand in hand. In order to do that well, you have to know what you're spending. You have to know your costs. We talked about that in the last episode, talking about like with the clinic. Y'all know your expenses. You know what you're spending here. And that's been one of the things like I've been meticulously analyzing all of my spending. And so you can't be a good marketer if you don't know how much money you got to make. I mean, you just can't. And I mean, again, I'm not going to ever tell anybody to market 100% of your grain because that's a dangerous game. Like and by that, I mean, if you think I'm going to make 160 bushel corn across my farms, then let's say you got 100 acres of corn. What is that? 16,000 bushels.
Hold on.
That'd be 1,600 bushels. Is that right?
Hold on. 100,
Damn it. Why am I?
100 acres and 160 bushel average.
Yeah. Is that 16,000?
Yeah, it should be 16,000.
That's right. Yeah. All right.
I'm going to double check. Yeah, 16,000.
All right.
No doubt. We knew it all along.
There you go. So on a 100 acre farm, you got 160 bushel average. You're like, man, I'm going to make 16,000 bushels. Do not go book 16,000 bushels of corn.
Right, because if you come up short,
then you sometimes will have to actually pay the granary because they have essentially, the granary is selling that grain. When you book a contract, they're locking those contracts into the Chicago Trade Board. So that grain that's still growing in the field is already sold, and so the granary has sold that grain. So then you got to make up the difference.
Yeah. And again, this is where we're not experts, but and there's some years, I guess if you booked it and then the price drops, I don't know.
I have done some things where you
can cancel contracts and collect the
Yes, it's tricky. Now I'll tell you, and
a lot of people try to cheat the system doing that, and
that's a dangerous game to play. Yeah,
because it's I guess it's not even legal.
Yeah,
but some people do it and get away with it. But it's right, like you said, it's a dangerous game. Market goes the other way, and then you end up owing them a lot of money.
Yeah, man, I got
a buddy of ours. Those people just speculating and playing the futures and whatnot without even having a crop or whatever, and they're trying to use the granary as like their broker without having to pay. And again, I'm way outside of my realm of expertise. I guess if you can do that, but you're supposed to pay brokerage fees or something.
Oh yeah.
I don't. Again, we might need to take the next question for you. I'm way outside of my element.
Well, I think it's just interesting to discuss because again,
you can get. And that's why you have these marketing specialists that you can hire essentially to do a lot of this stuff for you, because farmers are at the end of the day, hopefully they're really good at growing a crop.
Yeah.
You know, there aren't many people out there, I would say, that are really good at growing a crop and also just really excellent at knowing exactly all the intricacies of marketing.
Yeah.
So there's resources out there.
Well, and the problem that you run into right now, we're not geared up yet. You know, we're starting to spray and stuff like that, but I've got time. I can pay attention to the markets. The problem with marketing for most farmers is you get into planting and you're spraying and you're planting and you're running here and you're running there. Man, to be honest, because I get these text messages those same time, halftime. At that time of year, I rarely look at them because I'm being pulled in so many different directions and I'm so busy. So you just, honestly, it kind of gets put on the back burner because you're like, well, right now I got to get everything planted. Like it don't matter what. Right now, planting is the only thing I'm thinking about. And I mean, that's not the right way to be, but that's just the way that we be, because you only got so much mental bandwidth, and at that time of year, that's what it's being pumped into.
Yeah.
So it's just hard to stay on top of it. So yeah, that was that's why I like the questions, because we just never know. I mean, we just talked about that for like 20 minutes off a simple question. Appreciate that, Riley. Hopefully we answered your question for you.
It probably confused you because I don't know that I'm any less confused talking about it. Yeah.
Really? Dang. Well, I didn't do a very good job explaining it.
No, I mean, I think I have as much understanding now as I did 20 minutes ago, but still not an expert.
Billy writes in, I was at the Farm Machinery Show and met y'all both and got pics with y'all, and I listen to y'all's podcast all the time on my phone and my dad's. All right, I remember Billy.
Yep.
He said, and I have Spotify and I wanted to write a review, but it won't let me. So I just wanted to say I would give y'all 5 stars. I love listening to y'all talk about ag and other stuff like it. Sincerely, Billy. I remember you, Billy. You had the cool camo shirt.
I wonder if it won't let him, of course, because like we said on Spotify, you have to listen for a certain amount of time, which if he always listens on Spotify, it should let him review.
Yeah.
I wonder if it has to do with like the type of account he has.
Yeah, if you got a kid's account, maybe.
Which I would think a kid's account probably wouldn't let you listen to us to begin with.
Yeah, it may not even let it pull up. I'll tell you, Billy, if you listen on if you watch us on YouTube or something and you went to rate us on Spotify, you actually have to listen to like an episode or something before you can
that is one of the
it's a good thing.
Good thing about Spotify. You can't just go in there and give a review, positive or negative, if you haven't actually proven to them that you have listened to the show. But yeah, and we apologize for our language.
I think I said the F word like 4 or 5 times in this one. My mom will shit her pants if she listens to this one. Now I was quoting a movie, Mom. We appreciate you, Billy. Like I said, I think he had a really cool camo shirt on.
Yeah.
Him and his dad might have had. I remember meeting y'all. We appreciate you.
You can't use the quote in a movie thing because all like the white basketball and football players that like quote rap songs and say the N word.
Oh, they're getting canceled.
They get canceled for that. And they're like, well, they were just singing a song, whatever. Like, no, it doesn't. In cancel culture, you can't use that as an excuse. So,
well, I use it all the time without quoting movies too, though.
Yeah,
that's probably
not the N word.
No, not the N word. Yeah, let me clear that up. No,
Logan really likes the F word.
The F word is my favorite cuss word. Yeah. Like my mom has listened to this show. It's quite a bit actually. She'll listen, and she's like, she likes it, but she's like, y'all's language is atrocious. I mean, she's like, your language is terrible, and she's like, I just can't believe. And I said, hell, Mom, you should hear me off the show. And she's like, you don't talk that bad. And I said, and Marcy, we were over at my parents, and I was like, the F word is my favorite cuss word. And she's like, no, it is not. And I said, and Marcy just kind of looked at her, and she was like, Logan, thanks. And I'm like, it's a powerful word. It's just and it's versatile, man. You can use it for all kinds of things.
And I'm not gonna, again, when I'm at the grocery store.
Well, yeah, I'm smart with it.
Yeah, or out in public, at church,
Yeah.
I'm obviously selective.
When I go to Nafy's in the morning to get a biscuit, I'm like, I want that fucking bacon biscuit over there.
And depending on who's working, like maybe if it's somebody and you're not, there's not like a sweet little old lady and a bunch of little kids surrounding you. Again, my whole thing with what is a cuss word and what isn't a cuss word depends on the setting, the audience, and whatnot. I remember words I wasn't allowed to say when I was growing up, which part of it's just the way culture has changed, and we're not near as sensitive about a lot of words.
Could you
anymore.
say sucks?
No.
I was gonna say, man, that was like, oh, that was a terrible word.
Yeah.
That was basically the F word when I was a kid.
Yeah. Can't say something sucks. You can't say it stinks.
Yeah. And you couldn't say, and actually I wasn't supposed to say, I hate you. You know, hate.
I'm in like that. Liar. Like
liar.
You weren't supposed to call somebody a liar.
Yep.
You weren't supposed to say you hate something.
You know, cocksucker. You know, I wasn't allowed to say that one.
Yeah.
I did get in trouble for flipping somebody off in the 3rd grade. I remember.
I mean, I think that was probably justified.
No, the 1st grade. It was the 1st grade because, and I didn't know what it was, but I had learned the middle finger.
Yeah.
And so
you had seen somebody do it. Seen it on TV.
Dad was exposing me to the Terminator when I was in like the 1st grade. Like I was actually telling Marcy, I was like, I'm pretty sure that maybe Sarah Connor's titties in the Terminator might have been the first. Like that movie is so cemented in my brain. It's like, it's one of my iconic films. And I think it's because it was such an action movie. And then, yes, you see titties and like.
I can't say for sure, but have you ever seen Under Siege?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's an iconic one.
The birthday cake?
Yeah, those are much more
impressive.
They're much more impressive than Sarah Connor's.
Those are the first ones that like I can actually think back on being like.
Did you watch it with your dad?
Oh, yeah.
How old were you?
I don't even know. It
like
would have been
6, 7.
I mean, look, I can see what year it came out.
Oh, that movie's got to be like 90, 96, 95, 96.
And this would have been like probably after it had been out for a couple of years. 92.
92. Okay, even older than I thought. That was Seagal.
And so it would have been after it had been out for long enough that it was on Cinemax.
Yeah. Now you were born 83?
Yeah, 83. So I was 9 when it came out. I was probably.
You were probably 11.
10, 11, 12 when I first.
Those are impressive set in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can assure you
it's not
our producer's never seen that one.
Yeah. That's not an incredibly, like, it's literally for about.
It's just a chick comes out of a cake or something.
Yeah. It's like a birthday cake for like the admiral on the boat or whatever.
Well, and that's how the Terminator, it's him.
Stripper inside a huge birthday cake.
Yeah. Well, that's how it was on the Terminator. Sarah Connor is cracking Kyle Reese. But I mean, it's like a sex scene in there, but it wasn't like a overly drawn out. And she just kind of, you see them for a little bit. But I just remember, like, as a kid, I was like, wow, those are boobs, you know? And I mean, I was probably 9 or 10. But then, like, I do think about, from a movie standpoint, it tickles me. I grew up, Arnold was that was my go-to. I was a Commando, Terminator, and Predator was like my consistent rotation as a child. And some people are like, my God, your parents. Like, and I had like you said, I couldn't say sucks. Like in all honesty, I think that my mom was not going to sit down and watch the Terminator. And my dad's probably like, oh, yeah, they're fine. You know, like, so, you know, she's not thinking anything about them. And so that's what I grew up on. I used to rent Commando all the time, man. Like, I grew up thinking, like, if you shot a dude in the chest with a gun, he was going to do like a triple backflip. Like, I was like, man, these guns have tremendous power.
Yeah.
But I don't know. How did we get down that rabbit hole?
I don't know. I
don't even remember what we were. Let me see. What were we talking about to get down that one? Shit, it wasn't this message. Damn, I don't remember how that came up. Language in film or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I don't know, man. But no, I did. I've told my mom, I said, you know, the F word's it's probably my favorite word. I mean, people can say what they want to say, but I mean, at least I'm honest about it. I don't use it on here near as often as I could. Yeah. This episode, I've said it more than I've ever said it on the show, I'm pretty sure.
Oh. When I'm filming for YouTube, and I do keep that one pretty PG, like when I'm sorting cows or anything.
Oh, that'd be hard.
Yeah, which a lot of times I'll just edit out when I'm cussing. Or if like something really interesting happens, but you got me cussing.
Oh, yeah.
I will use a bleep.
Yeah, throw a bleep in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rarely I'll do that, but
Man, we're just realistic. I mean, we're just all just being ourselves, honestly.
This show, we want it to be right.
That's what it is, just being ourselves.
Two guys talking farming at the end of the day.
But like you said, and you can spice up your language, but you do it intelligently. Like, and when I go into the grocery store, you're not going to hear me say a cuss word because there's women, there's children around. Like, I'm just not going to do it. Like,
well, I'll tell you, it's different here than it is in a lot of parts of the country because we are here in the Bible Belt. You go some places and like, oh man, like,
oh yeah,
you're like, and they're still pretty, respectful of like kids and stuff. But like, if it's just some dudes, like it's over the top sometimes. Like, whoa, like that guy cusses a lot.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I'm gonna tell you, man. When I worked in the machine shop, I counted a dude one time because he said the F word more than any human being I've ever heard. Like he would say it. I'm gonna say.
Did y'all have any women in there?
Well, the women that were in the shop with us, their penis was bigger than mine.
They were masculine.
Yeah, they weren't worried about they
could cuss with the best.
They could cuss with the best of them,
yeah.
And they'd probably punch you harder than anybody in there. But no, there was a dude in there, and like when I use the F word, I use it appropriately. I feel like it's fitting in the moment. This dude, it was an adjective for every word.
Yeah.
It was, so one time I put a timer on my phone. We were in break and he would say the F word so much. I was like, good God almighty.
Well, it gets to a point where it's just like, all right, this is.
Oh, it was excessive.
It's incredibly distasteful.
I couldn't even pay attention to what he's talking about. Cause I'm like, he was there like, yeah, I went to the effing store. They had some effing bread. I needed some effing milk, and I got an effing pack of cigarettes, and they were effing good, man. I smoked an effing cigarette on, and I'm like, good God almighty. So I put a timer on my phone. I remember counting. In 2 minutes, he said the F word 16 times. Yeah. I just remember thinking, Lord have mercy. This guy, man, his mouth is foul. Yeah, man. So, use them wisely.
Yeah, you don't ever want to be the guy that's known for like that. That's what people say. Like, man, he's got a foul mouth.
Yeah. There's liable to be some people that have said that about me, but also be respectful with it too, because I'll never forget, man, we went to a tractor pull years ago. It's been probably, gosh, I don't know. It's been a long time ago. It was me, my dad, and one of my dad's buddies. And my dad's buddy that was there, I've heard him cuss, but he's a really stern guy. Like, he takes no shit. Actually, a guy was stealing diesel fuel out of his fuel tank, and he went and beat the shit out of him. Like, literally. He went to the guy's house, and the guy's mother actually answered the door, and she was like, what do you need? And he was like, I need to see your son. And, she said, why? And he said, because he's been stealing my fuel. And the son came to the door and he beat the shit out of him in front of his mother. So he don't play around. Literally, it's a true story. I'm not making that up. But we were at a tractor pull one night, and it was two young guys sitting behind us. And there was like women, it's women and kids all around. Man, one of them was cussing like crazy. And this guy turned around and he said, would you watch your mouth, man? And he had the most powerful, stern command. And both of those dudes, they were like, yes, sir. I mean, and so that's where I've remembered that moment too. Like, I can cuss with the best of them, but I know when is not the time.
Yeah.
So, let's see. We got enough time for this one, I think. This is let's see. Jack writes, hey guys, love the show. Just started listening in the last few months. Hey, man, we appreciate you tuning in. He said, listening to the last episode about the TVA issue in Sumner County and the interstate potentially going through y'all's place made me wonder if y'all had ever talked about or looked into the land trust for Tennessee. Our family farm in Williamson County was originally a Revolutionary War grant that my great-great-great-grandfather settled on. We have put it in the land trust for Tennessee to ensure it's never developed. My understanding has always been that the land trust makes sense for generational farms as long as all family members can agree on it and no one wants to sell. I think the Farmland Preservation Act is supposed to help reduce the financial barrier of protecting the land. Thanks, Jack.
Yeah.
I have not looked at this specifically, but I have looked into the one that Bill Lee has signed, and I think it's called is that what he's talking about? The one Bill Lee just signed into action?
I don't know. Governor Bill Lee. Yeah, I don't know. I'm unfamiliar with it.
The one that Bill Lee just signed in, I think it actually starts this May, and it is a grant system where they take the value of your land, and essentially it's kind of confusing. They take like the development value of your land, and I think they subtract the just as straight ag price, and then they pay you the difference or something on it. They'll pay it to you, but then the land can never be developed in terms of like solar panels can never come over, like take over the farm. They'll never put like subdivisions on it, but you can build barns. You can build ag structures on the farm, and you can even sell the farm. It's not even tied to your family, but it's obviously not going to bring the same dollar figure because it can never be developed.
Well, and then you've already collected the dollar figure difference there, which of course the negatives I look at, well, like, and I don't know how long that law will stay in place, maybe forever, but if I wait 20 years, then I can do that and I'll get even more because
oh yeah.
the development value and that difference between the development value and the ag value is a lot greater. And two, much as I don't want to see farmland, I also think about, 3 or 4 generations from now, does my family want to pack up and move somewhere else?
Yeah. Well, see, they can. As like I said, they're just not going to get near the dollar man.
Right. But I would want them to get every penny they could out of it. Now, again, part of me is like, well, I don't want it to be developed either to an extent, but man, it's hard to see into the future. And like,
I think we're all going to be killed by robots before long anyway.
Well, it's possible. And what does money even matter? If they're taking over the world, but I don't know. You have Tennessee all of a sudden turned into a raging blue state because all the assholes moving to Nashville take over. And land values go through the roof and whatnot. Like, hell, I don't think it'll happen in my lifetime, but where I would just say, I'm taking my ball and
moving to California.
Yeah, I'm not going home. I'm moving my home.
Yeah.
Yeah, California's the new frontier. All the liberals left
moved
California
out of there
and came to Nashville.
Yeah.
Now, hell, we'll go out there.
Hell, Bobby Lee and I actually learned, California's a pretty nice place. What part we were in.
But 70 degrees in January.
Yeah. Man, and, I have actually I've run scenarios like on the Bill Lee's Act. I can't remember what it's called. It's like it may be the Farmland Preservation Act. But I looked into it for this place, like just roughly, because I'm like, hell, the farm sucks right now. Like we're struggling. And if what I figured up was right, it's actually a pretty substantial dollar figure that you get. And
I'm like, where the hell does that money come from? I know the government just prints money.
I don't know. It's 20. They allocated. I know it was an allocation of funds. It was like $26 million they've allocated.
Well, hell, that wouldn't go far at all.
And it's per year, I believe.
Oh, but still, that. People sell significant blocks of ground. I would think that.
Yeah, you're talking like
be zapped up
20 farms, and that'd be pretty much done.
Yeah, that's nothing.
But they and so and I don't know if that's just year one. And again, and then Bill Lee's about to be no longer our governor. So I don't know. It's interesting. I have just said roughly on this farm, and again, that was kind of Chat GPT figuring out some stuff. Oh hell, it said thunderstorms likely to start soon.
Damn.
But
I spread some fertilizer today, but I wasn't expecting the rain until this weekend.
I need to put some more mulch around some other trees today. But no, Jack, I appreciate that. It's interesting to think about. I don't hate the thought of it. I'm kind of like you say, you multi-generation. I get that, but on one hand, I'm like, man, at that point, I've given previous generations multiple opportunities to gain off of my land that is paid and survived for them. So I'm like, they can do what they need to do. So thanks, Jack. Nick writes in, hey, just wondering if I could get that feed ration y'all are using. Thanks. Keep up the great work. Yes, I'm sending Bobby Lee.
It's been a little while since I've sent it to anybody, so I'm glad.
I think we got another one that's wanting it too. All right, I just sent that to him, Nick. You should get that. You'll get that long before you hear this episode. We got another one. No. I'll have to read that one to Bobby Lee off air. That one.
Oh man, that sounds fun.
Their email is goat humper. So, you know, we this is actually he's a friend of ours. It might push the envelope a little. I don't know. I mean, Bobby Lee. I'll let him read it on air maybe one time. Especially since he talked about Moneybag Yo, it would really fit him to be the one to talk about it.
I just said I found it, the most interesting thing I found out about him doing a quick Wikipedia search was that he's a Muslim. He's a Muslim cannabis connoisseur.
Dalton asks, he says he would like to have your feeding ration. I'm sending you his as well. Like I said, I was thinking it was a couple of them. All right, there you go, fellas. I've sent those both to Bobby Lee. And I think that's got us caught up on those.
Caught up on all our emails.
Yes, we do need. We do ask that you guys will write us some emails. Again, go to talkdirtpodcast.com. I was looking at the comments. I saw somebody. Oh shit! Where'd it go? I had it just pulled up. All right. Oh yeah, someone here on YouTube said, "Is there somewhere we can catch the live podcast from National Farm Show?" I saw you wrote back to them, you know, and told them like it is not. We have not posted it. I've got it. But guys, I mean, and we'll, you know, we may put it up. It was not our greatest performance. It was a lot of shit going on. There was a kid honking a damn horn on a tractor a bunch.
Yeah, like right beside us.
Yeah, it was literally like we were talking, and it's like, yeah,
it was
this is
short too.
You know, I'm like, Bobby Lee's over there like, this is the darkest moments of my life, and it's like, meh, meh, and so, like, but no, you know,
yeah, it was a little bit chaotic. It wasn't near as. Like, again, we've said that the farm show was definitely more our crowd, more our vibe.
Yeah.
Than the whole setting at Farm Bureau. But the Farm Bureau, like as far as the actual show, because we've only done 2 live shows ever, definitely was much more structured, well done. You know, yeah, both were great. We enjoyed being at both. But as we got done, we're like, we don't know if this one's really worthy of us. You know, we said we may drop it as like a little bonus episode, but it's not going to be one of our weekly, you know, Friday morning drops.
Well, and Bobby Lee and I both were like, man, you know.
We didn't talk about anything new. It was a lot of stuff that's been discussed numerous times. The
thing that we've said, the challenge with our show and doing live is the fact that, well, we have just said the F word like 5 or 6 times in this episode, and we just actually spent a segment of the show talking about movie titties, and we do that quite often. So, you know, this is us being able to read the room. We're in a live scenario at these shows. There's a lot of kids and stuff walking around. I'm not going to be talking about titties and cocaine and saying the F word when there's a bunch of kids walking around. And I mean, Bobby Lee kept insisting that we do. And I was like, man, damn it, Bobby Lee. And it's like, we can't say this in front of these children. And he just kept on, but we can't.
Yep. Now,
Bobby Lee wants to cuss around these children.
Well, and 2, like, you know, they were wanting to know, like, what are y'all going to talk about? We're like, well, we don't ever know what we're going to talk about. I mean, you know, that's kind of what makes it authentic. Like, we have no outline. There's no teleprompter over there, you know, that we're staring into.
Yeah.
It's very off the cuff. I mean, again, we're aiming for this being a discussion over a drink at the end of the day, which is exactly what it is. We're just doing it with a camera and a microphone.
Hey, Marble Creek Farms. Did we give them a shout out?
Seems like we have. I don't know.
If we didn't, give you a shout out. I'm drinking out of my glass. Bobby Lee's right over there. He drinks out of it often.
I drank out of it, well, 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
When we recorded last week's episode.
But yeah, the tea, it's got the power tea on there. Man, I'm splashing this around.
Yeah, our basketball team won last night, and baseball teams won a couple of games.
The T on mine stands for Terminator.
That's the power tea. Go Big Orange.
They're, yeah. So, and there is we do appreciate the glasses. These things are awesome. But,
I brought my drink with me tonight, so I'm drinking out of my traditional little tin cup.
There you go. I am certain we will do more live shows. We're just kind of figured out, like I said, that was our second one. We're still kind of figured out our vibe, and we kind of.
And we were guests of Acres TV and Ag Revolution. It was great. They were very great.
Really appreciate it.
But, we had Austin said, because, of course, when you're at these shows, there's all kinds of people that are like, you really need to take advantage of that. And
do guests.
Yeah, have a guest, interview somebody. And, too, that helps the conversation. And you have a conversation in person that you don't get to have just on a regular weekly episode.
Yeah. Joe Biden was there. We thought about having him on.
Yeah. But we were kind of, we were doing like, hey, what do y'all want us to do? And they're like, yeah, y'all just get up there and talk. I'm like, okay, we'll do that.
Yep.
Of course, at AFBF, we had the chance to have Joby Young on, and that was great.
It was. I didn't go to the Mid-South Farm Show, and I'll be damned, I saw Vaden was there.
Yeah, I heard he was there because I've listened to a couple of Talking Farm Bureau, the Root of the Matter. That they recorded. I bet they recorded several while they were there.
Yeah.
But
did they have him back on?
They did not have him on, but when the interview they were doing, they did reference the speech that he gave.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, I was going to go. We were going to go Saturday after the ball game, but like I said, I sounded like RFK Jr., and it was really difficult to talk. And then I also knew that I had to do 3 podcasts this week because I did 2 for this and 1 for the church. So I was like, I got to talk a lot. And I mean, when I go to the Gen Show, Marcy, we don't normally go. Like one year we've gone with friends, but typically we go just us because she knows when I go to the Gen Show, by God, I'm going to do some chatting. I mean, that's really what I'm there for. I'm going to talk. I'm going to go to the different vendors that I know. And
half the people there.
Yes.
Because, it's literally 45 minutes down the road from us.
Yeah. And I feel like a cock-ass for not going because it is so close. And then, I go every year. And I've always gone, and I've always been a little sad because it feels like I've been seeing the decline of it. And then the reason it's declining is because I don't think as many people are going. But I will say, Dad said one of his buddies went, and he actually said it was pretty good this year. So I'm kind of hoping maybe it's getting some life back into it.
That's kind of surprising with the current
ag
economy. Yeah,
I know. So, in all honesty, Talk Dirt to me needs to have a booth at the Mid-South Farm Show because we're literally 45 minutes from there.
Yeah.
So maybe you'll see that happen. But let me cue up the man. I got one tonight. God darn it, I did it again. Son of a bitch.
See, it wouldn't be any fun if we were too technologically
that's true.
Perfect because it's kind of also been our brand.
Gosh damn it.
Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America.
All right. I think I don't know if I've done this company before. I've used them a bunch. Have I done the creatine from Thorne?
Not that I can remember, but there's been 200.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Nearly 230 of these.
So Thorne, THORNE, is my go-to creatine. It mixes great, and I get unflavored. I put it in my water at the end of the night, just down it, and it makes the water look a little milky looking, but it don't have any taste. You just pound it down. Or a nice thing, if you're going to have some protein, you can mix it in there with your protein, and it doesn't change the taste. I like it because it mixes really well. Because I've used some other, I'll tell y'all, I've used Optimum Nutrition, and it's like sand. It never mixes. I've stirred that shit, and it doesn't mix at all. So then, like, you down it, and you're like chewing. It's like tastes like sand in your teeth. So you got to rinse your teeth out. You don't have to do that with Thorne. My ass is a little chapped because not at Thorne, but I did order I buy the 180 serving container off of Amazon for Thorne, and Amazon cannot figure out our damn address. So my container, I got a notification today that my container of creatine had been delivered because I was out. It was time for me to get some more. So I'm kind of pumped up. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to get home, take my creatine. And I get home, and by God, it's nowhere to be found. And it says it was left near the door by the garage. So I run around to the garage. Nope, it ain't there either. So it's at some random sons of bitch's house, and I ain't got it.
You know, sometimes it seems like ours, like they'll include the picture they take of it.
Sometimes they do.
And you'll be like, yeah, that's not my porch.
When it snowed, I had ordered one of these stands for our cameras.
Yeah.
And I got it. I was like, kept waiting on it, and I knew the weather was bad. So I was like, where in the hell is that thing? I looked on Amazon. They had a picture of it. It was sitting by a mailbox. And I'm like, I don't even have a mailbox. Sure enough, I drive over here into Twin Lakes. It's been like 3 days. It's been sitting there. And I look, and there's my package sitting by a mailbox. So I took my package.
Nobody picked it up for several days.
No. So
they knew it wasn't theirs. They were too
honest, I guess.
honest for that.
But somebody has my creatine, and they have not messaged me.
You take their prenatal vitamins?
No. But I'm gonna tell you, man, I put my name behind Thorn on anything. Thorn is awesome.
Yeah.
They're my buddies at Sornex. They're Thorn guys. Thorn is like studied independently. Like it is a very, very high quality supplement. I would venture to say it's probably the highest supplement, like quality wise, that you can get. So anything Thorn, they've got some great sleep products as well. So I would recommend, I guess I don't want to just narrow them to creatine, because I've actually tried some of their sleep stuff too.
Yeah.
They do. And I don't know if they've got a pill to make your dick bigger or not. I haven't looked at that yet, but I might see if they have that.
You're saying you would maybe be in the market?
I would be in the market for that. No. So check out Thorn. It's THORNE, and they're a badass company, very high quality. And I think they're also like, if somebody's listening and you play a college sport, I believe all their stuff is like, because you know some stuff you take can make you test hot.
Like
and
it's certified, like guarantees you will not.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think so. So check out Thorn. You won't go wrong with them. And also, guys, while you're doing that, we need you to leave us 5-star ratings on Spotify, on Apple. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, comment on YouTube or on Spotify, and go to talkdirtpodcast.com and contact page, shoot us an email. Any question, there's nothing off limits for us. We'll answer any question that you got.
There's no stupid questions, only stupid people.
Yes, right. There's a lot of stupid people. What else?
Y'all check out agzaga.com. Just all the good stuff. I'm not even going to try to list them. If you don't even need a farm. If you just have a house, you don't even need a house necessarily. You could buy a big shipment from them and then use the box for a house. You know,
if you have an ass, then you can use them because they have underwear.
Yeah. If you're one of those people that likes to wear underwear,
yeah.
But TalkDirt20 is the discount code. If you're baling hay and you're not buying your bail net wrap from them, you're probably paying too much and getting it somewhere that's much less convenient than off literally your doorstep.
That's right.
But check them out. TalkDirt20, $20 off, $50 minimum order, and free shipping.
Yep. All right, guys. We will catch you next week.